It's on. All right, good. Hey, this is a thrill. I'll tell you what. I can't tell you how many people have been excited about this all day, sending us texts. Emmy winner, Golden Globe winner, ladies and gentlemen, with us right now, Jane Seymour. Hello, Jane. How are you doing?
Hello.
It is so nice to talk to you.
I'm doing great. Hi, how are you?
I am wonderful. You know, growing up, I got to tell you, when anyone asked me, tell me who you think is a movie star, a beautiful movie star, there was Bridget Bardot, there was Ginger Grant, and Jane Seymour. You're one of those names. Like, you've always been a celebrity, haven't you?
I've been an actress, that's for sure. Yes, I have. I started professionally when I was 13. So, yes, I've been doing this a long time.
Yeah, you've been an actress. And man, when I looked at, of course we remember you from Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, and so many other things. So many people wanted me to bring up to you and what you thought about the movie Somewhere in Time. That's like so many people's favorite movie. Do you get that a lot?
I do, and you know what's really curious about it is that when Christopher Reeve and I made it, when it came out, they barely put it out. We weren't allowed to publicize it, and it got the worst reviews ever. And I remember Christopher Reeve saying to me, "Oh dear, after Superman," he said, "stop for a day. I guess it's all over." But he loved Summer in Time, as did I, and of course, once the audience was allowed to find it, they became obsessed with it globally. I mean, unbelievable. I mean, it randomly, it played for a year to packed houses in every single cinema in Hong Kong. And Sarang, who ran all the cinemas there, actually brought me out there and said, "Why you? Why this? What's going on here?" And, really, people love that movie, and they still do it. It literally is timeless.
That is that's awesome. And, I also a lot of people. I had people say, ask her about being in a James Bond movie, and then I had several other people say, no, don't ask her that. She hates that movie. Is that accurate or not accurate?
That's not true. No. I love the movie. People have asked me things like, "Oh, do you think they could make that movie again in this generation?" And that the answer has been taken out of context. I go, "No, you probably couldn't, because it's not as politically correct as things would be now." But no, I was very grateful for it. My goodness, I was 20 years old. It was like a huge thing, and continues to be. And it's a beautiful movie, and the soundtrack's pretty awesome too.
And that was which James Bond was that? Was that Roger Moore?
Yes, it was his first one, Live and Let Die.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. And I know you have a new project you're working on now, and so many people have been texting in and said they actually love it's the new show called Harry Wild. What is that about?
So her name is really Harriet, although she goes by Harry. She's a professor of English literature at Trinity in Dublin. In the first episode, she quits because most of the students are partying and she can't be bothered. So she just goes, "Fine, I'm done. I'm going to do something else." And due to a number of bizarre circumstances, one where she's trying to have a hot date, gets a bottle of wine, gets mugged, ends up at her son's house, who's a detective, and she's bored to tears, and she realizes that her knowledge of English literature can lead her to this serial killer that her son's supposed to be finding. And when he won't listen to her and she kicks her out of the house, she realizes she has to go and find him herself, and realizes the young man who had inadvertently stolen her purse is not actually such a bad guy, and is very useful because he comes from the wrong side of the tracks, and he's 15, and he's a guy. So they end up becoming like a detective duo, and rather successfully manage to capture this guy. And then, of course, everyone wants them to now investigate bizarre murders. So she uses her knowledge of literature and history to decipher crimes, and he uses his knowledge of the street to help keep her safe and figure out how to pick locks and do whatever needs to happen.
That sounds fun.
It's on AMC, right? It's an AMC show.
It's on Acorn, which is owned by AMC. But if you go to Acorn TV, it's a streamer. So the first 4 episodes of the 8 are already out. By next Monday, they'll put another 2 out. I don't know why they do it that way, but you can watch the first 4 episodes, and they're actually giving you free subscription right now for a month if you if you enter the word Jane, easy to remember, in capitals. So,
okay.
And there's a lot of great murder mysteries on that channel. It's wonderful. But this one, all my Dr. Quinn fans have got terribly excited. They love it. And a lot of, young people, I mean, it's very multi-generations. You can imagine you've got the 15-year-olds, the 40-year-olds, and then my lot. But it's fun, it's funny, and Harry is such a wonderful character.
So, Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, aired in over 100 countries around the world. So when you go places and people recognize you, is Dr. Quinn? Is that the first thing you say, or is it? I have a lot of people when I said you were going to be on the show. It's Wedding Crashers was the first thing they thought of. What is it you get more than anything else now, Jane?
It depends where I am. If I'm in England, they're obviously very obsessed with their own home brand of Bond. If I go anywhere near a bar or any young men aged 35 to 45 or anywhere around that age group, I'm Kitty Cat. I've even been known to be hit on by some of these guys, which is really kind of interesting. And then there's mostly men who are madly in love with Somewhere in Time. And I keep being told it's a chick flick, but it definitely isn't. General Colin Powell, it was his favorite movie, and that's what he watched, countless times, maybe 40 or more. So it depends on where I am, and then if I'm in the Jewish community, it's War and Remembrance. If it's literate, they love East of Eden or Scarlet Pimpernel and then, of course, I played Wallace Simpson and Maria Callas, and I even played in the war, French Revolution.
Yeah,
I was in that too. So,
do people bring up Playboy?
Yeah, I usually hit a lot of different demographics, but I would say, for the most part, yeah. It's one of those.
Do people bring up Playboy, or do they just not mention it because they don't want to? They don't want to say anything offensive or maybe make you upset. Or does Playboy get brought up?
Sometimes, but it's not upsetting at all. In fact, an interesting phenomenon happened when I did it. The first time I had no, it was just a photograph from the Bond film. The second time I did pose, but what I said is, I won't be naked. I said, I'll show you that, you can have the same effect without taking your clothes off.
Right.
So I wasn't paid for it, but it ended up being one of the most successful Playboys they had because women were buying it for their men, which is very interesting. And then this last time, again, I'm not unclothed, so
yeah.
I wouldn't get too excited. But they are beautiful photographs, and I'm very proud of it. So, no, I've managed to skirt that whole thing by trying to prove to people that it's possible to play that moment without necessarily having to show everything.
Got you. Angel, question for Jane Seymour.
Jane, you've been able to see the transformation of Hollywood from the big studios to now this latest project being out on streaming service. What is your take on the development or the way that Hollywood has evolved? What do you think of this evolution of it?
Well, to be honest, I'm actually very excited. I really, it's very hard for me to find time to watch regular television, but streaming anywhere in the world is brilliant. I love it. Plus, I don't want to wait a week for the next episode. I want to binge watch the whole thing. And I'm sorry to the commercials, but I make commercials, but I don't really want to have it interrupt, my material that I'm watching or material that I'm making every 10 minutes. So I'm thrilled with that. And a lot of films that I've made have not been made in studios. They've been made on location. So I've been filming all over the world. During the pandemic, I was filming in Australia and Sydney. I was the only foreigner allowed out there. I did a wonderful movie called Ruby's Choice, which hopefully is going to get distribution here soon, about Alzheimer's. And then I got to do Harry Wild in Ireland for 4.5 months. And we were all supposed to be in isolation, but we all gathered on my rooftop for a drink or two and managed to make a wonderful show. And then I've been, but I think joking aside, going to the cinema, we haven't been able to do that for a while, and now we can. And I think when you go to the cinema, what you really want to do is you want to be around other people and have a group experience of whether it's thrilling or emotional or whatever it is. And, of course, the big blockbuster movies are the ones that we go out to see. But, a lot of people have very large screens. They'll have that before they buy a couch. I know that for a fact. and there's, amazing material that you can screen at home. And the great thing is that, you don't have to worry about whether it's appropriate for 8 o'clock TV or 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock or this channel or that channel. Now you have streaming material for all different types of people with different tastes. I mean, if all you want to watch is sci-fi or horror, it's there for you.
Hollywood legend Jane Seymour. The show is called Harry Wild. It's on AMC, or actually on Acorn. Jane, thank you for taking time to talk to us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, you take care. There you go, Jane Seymour.
Savannah. Pump that bass.